Hello and welcome to your Cody update, which we did say we wanted to do. Yeah, a bit sad, the price action I have to say about Cody, and price action suggests we could indeed have topped in wide wave B. Okay, so this is definitely something that needs to be considered, because this starts to look a bit like a 5-wave move down. And I think in the last video I already mentioned that the white count definitely needs to be considered, and that this here could, because the price action is complete, it's just corrective to the upside. It's just corrective, and while the yellow count, which is more directly bullish, is possible, this is turned a little bit into a hopium wave count due to the deep retracement. Okay, I think in the previous video we were talking about a micro support area which was a bit higher, and the price could have pushed a little bit higher but failed, and now this is turned into a hopium count. So let's talk about the yellow count first. Yellow count allows for further upside in an A, B, C structure, and I think I already mentioned in the last video the targets for the C wave. I mean, the 342 level is the 100% extension of the A wave. It just doesn't add up. I mean, this is just too far away. This is just not realistic, right? But the $1.28 level would possibly be realistic. That's the 78.6 extension, but there isn't really much it's doing. So it's not doing much and it's starting to break. And the only way really how I could see this go higher in the yellow count is as a diagonal, so that we had this initial wave 1 rally, which topped here in December, a wave 2 correction, bottomed in January, third wave up. Well, this, oops, 1 second. So, I mean, technically speaking, this could have been the third, but then there is no fourth wave. This is too deep for a fourth wave. So the only way really would be to call this wave A, but then this would have ideally been wave B, but it failed to rally impulsively. So this could be wave B, but this starts to look like a 5-wave move down. So it's purely hopium. And then support is at 7.1 cents. So what happens below 7.1? Below 7.1, we could still allow for a slightly different variation of the count in the yellow scenario, which would be, okay, what if this is a wave 1? And this is a wave 2. In that case, the 5.59 cent level is support. But this is, I mean, this is hopium, you know. And I'd be careful with this chart until we see a first small upside impulse. There's no reaction at all at the moment. So for the count that I showed you first, 7.1 cents is support. But if that breaks, we could still look at a different variation of a larger diagonal pattern, but then 5.59 cents needs to hold. So, and there is an important invalidation line here at 5.1 cents. These are the support levels, but below 5.1, I mean, there's nothing bullish left really anymore, okay? Very important. I mean, already now, as I said, it looks like a 5-wave move down, and then it doesn't even look like it's finished. Dangerous. I don't even have a reliable count for this. I mean, if we assume it could be a B wave, the only way to count this, but again, this is just an hopium, right, would be like a W, X, Y, X, Z pattern. Like, for example, what I do with DOT. But then it just needs to turn around here. And this is just this bear flag. Small bear flag. And further micro counting doesn't give us much clarity because the larger time frame isn't very clean. It's not very clear. And then also the smaller time frames get messy. But this here looks like a bearish flag. Somehow, yeah. Now, this would be the yellow count and certain variations of it. So that means until we see here a bit of an upside rally and especially a break above the last high at 15.4 cents, yeah, be careful. In terms of the white count, this is interesting. The white count is obviously it's all corrective to the upside, but then we can say that the move down was wave A. This here is a flat structure in a B wave. Probably would rather count better as a WXY, but either way this is corrective, so it could have topped in wave B. And if we break below all these levels, I mean, that would be further confirmation that the wave C to the downside has started. This is dangerous. I mean, I wouldn't say, you know, shorting is the right option, because shorting generally in a bull market is not very productive. It's a difficult spot. I mean, I think I'd rather be focused on higher, but I wouldn't want to be bearish, even though the white count is highly likely. But the entire crypto market, I mean, Bitcoin is still bullish, so I'd be careful with short positions. But in terms of, I would also not be very bullish. I would want to see first a setup on a smaller time frame that would justify a more directly bullish perspective. Because it could be even in the white count, right? Which is a corrective rally, but a B wave can always extend. So this might be like this, and then we say, okay, maybe this was just the A wave. This is now the B wave pullback, and the support levels would be the same. And then we get a C wave, and then we break down from there without forming all 5 waves, just 3. Very dangerous chart, very unclear, messy, and not clearly bullish at the moment. And especially in the short term, we've got this bearish flag, which is definitely a reason to worry a little bit. I mean, if you're worrying or not depends on your position and portfolio, right? But what happens here rather allows for further downside. Looks like a triangle, like an Elliott wave triangle. Just not entirely clear how this would be embedded in this structure, because the larger time frame is a bit unclear. Yeah, what exactly this is. And the WXY-XZ structure is never great because it's a 5-wave move down. So I could also label that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even let's assume even in the white count, even if this B wave is topped, then it is possible that this is a wave 1 to the downside. We then get a wave 2 corrective rally, however, which then should stay below the February low. Then a 3, 4, 5 to finish off this C wave. I hope it's sort of clear. I mean, the chart isn't very clear. That's the problem, because there is no impulse. There is no 5-wave move. And where the price really had the potential to move higher, it failed so far. And that's definitely a reason to be on the side of caution. Let me know if there are any questions. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.